everybody, it's Dave from Clean Pro Supply. We're here on a tile cleaning job. I'm actually with one of my new guys, Luciano. He just started yesterday, so we're teaching him. Might as well teach you guys too at the same time doing a video. Here we have the CPS Chemical Clean Advantage Solvent Sealer. It's an odorless penetrating sealer. We already cleaned the tile and grout. Looks great, a lot better than it did before. We were also cleaning the carpet, so usually we clean carpets first and then tile. But in this case, since we're sealing it, we clean the tile first, just so that the grout could dry. And then while we're doing that, we cleaned all the carpet. And now we're just back to now seal the tile. So we do, it's basically a splash and mop method, I guess, if you will. Some people call it that. I like using the mop that has these little Chanel nubs, if you want to call them. It's a microfiber mop from Cedar. The reason why I like to use these is because it gets down the grout lines better. When you're looking at the grout, especially here, it looks like a little stain there, but like the grout is recessed down into the tile. So these nubs will get that sealer down into the grout a little bit better than your conventional flat mop. So this is what we use. It's really easy. You could spray this on, you could mop it on out of a bucket or whatever, but I just honestly pour it because I know how much I need to use. So I'll just do a little bit. Actually, I probably did a little bit too much there, but that's okay. You can see where the grout is now wet, so I always do tell the customer, if you want to see the tile after we're done cleaning, look at it dry before we put the sealer down and see how clean it is. Because when we put the sealer down, it gets dark, it gets wet again. Of course, as it dries, since it's penetrating and invisible, essentially, what looks wet will go back to looking just like this. But it will have the properties of, of course, the sealer. So I'll put the mop in a puddle first, just to kind of get the mop wet, and then I'll just kind of go through and just work it in. You can go on the entire surface, but of course you're focusing on the grout lines. And actually the mop soaked up quite a bit, so I'll need to pour a little bit more. It's always better to do a little bit too less than a little bit too much, for obvious reasons. I'm not going to do the whole floor on camera now, but just to kind of show you the process. When you hit a door, you can just open it just to get that little grout by the transition there. This is safe on carpet and wood and on metal, so if you do get it on something, it's not a big deal. Now see how it's kind of foaming up here? That means there's a little bit too much here. It's not a problem, it will evaporate. Or you can just pull it to an area that doesn't have any. So you just want to get the grout lines nice and wet. Let it soak for about 10 minutes, maybe 15. These grout lines are really low actually, so it's taking a little bit more working in than most floors. But if you do have too much, you can also just flip this over. And that'll soak it up from the surface of the tile. But since it's flat, like going over this line here, it's kind of foaming in the line. It still looks the same, you're just cleaning it off the surface of the tile. So then what we'll do after we do the entire floor, and get the grout lines nice and wet, let it soak 5-10 minutes, maybe 15, depending on when it was cleaned last, when it was sealed last, how porous it is. Then we can go around. We can take this off, get a couple clean rags, put them underneath the mop frame, and then we can just go around the surface of the tile, just like I did on the other side of the mop. The intention is just to soak up on any excess, and that will usually get down the grout lines a little bit to soak up any excess there, and then you just walk away. This sealer takes about 45 minutes to an hour to dry. I tell the customer as soon as it looks dry, it's safe to walk on. If it looks wet, stay off it. But that's really about it. So if you guys have any questions, Dave from Clean Pro Supply. We're looking at the Clean Advantage Solvent Sealer Penetrating. It's not going to hurt anything. So now all we're doing is we're taking a couple rags. These are clean rags. And I already use this to soak over there. And we're really just getting the excess. So this has been sitting for about 15 minutes. But now all we're doing is just getting the excess off the surface of the tile. Bigger rags are a little easier. That's just what we grab. So really about it, gets the excess up. And this will dry in about an hour or so, maybe 45 minutes. And then keep these rags separate from other rags, because when these get saturated in sealer, they're essentially going to become like water resistant, waterproof. They're going to repel water a lot, so just keep using the same rags for wiping up your sealer each time. And it'll soak up the sealer, but it's not going to be a good towel to use for spotting with the carpet, because it's not going to be absorbed, or it's not going to absorb spots or stains or chemicals very well. The only chemical it will absorb well is the actual sealer, because it's what it was already protected with. But that's about it. If you guys have any questions about the sealer,